Hello, welcome to Global Weltrade Synthetic Signal Provider Service Channel. If this is your first time of visiting this YouTube channel, do your best to subscribe and turn on the bell notification so you get notified each time I upload a new content. Try to refer this channel to your network so that YouTube pushes ahead of the audience, and try to like and actually comment on this channel. Okay. In today's video, we shall discuss 2% change trading concept in Weltrade synthetic trading. A market is a wave event. If you have gone through physics and mathematics and study about wave functions, you discover that the wave is modeled by sine function. I'm going to show you some of these things. Basically, we start with theory and then we summarize some practicals, so you'll be able to deploy this in your trading. Right here, we have this axis. This is a vertical axis, the price axis. Okay, it's a vertical line, so we draw to scale, and this is P. So it's a function of time. Remember, a straight line is modeled by, let's take P as output, which is the price. We will model by MT plus C, where M is the gradient or the slope of the price movement and C is the intercept on the P axis when the time is initially zero at the starting of a regime or a season in the market. Okay, right here I'm using English. Most of my video normally are voiceless on this channel. I'm using English, but you can deploy a translator for you to understand what I'm saying here. Okay, maybe you have some elements of English understanding, but you can't understand it full, or my accent, but you can read the transcribe form which is on the YouTube comment section. Like if you click on the video, you try to go to comment, then you will see transcriptions. Then you'll be able to see the words in English, and then you can translate in other languages for better understanding. Right here, a typical sine wave will be like this, moving about a line of symmetry. Okay, but market doesn't move like this, because if you move like this, it will become a range event. Yes, market do range, but it is 30% of the time to 45% of the time, meaning that market trend in the long term than it ranges, but in the short term it ranges than its trend, right? So like, I don't want to go deep there because it's gonna make it more complicated, because this is not what I'm talking about. So this is a sine wave. Now we are going to fabricate this into the real market waveform that I'm using this. So we consider a general and a typical market. Okay, we have to consider a general and a typical market. So we assume this market range a little bit and then start going like this, and then range starts pushing uptrend. We assume uptrend market. So this is what we call a real sine wave for the market, like a particle price function sine wave. Okay, so if you look here, you can draw a line of symmetry that passes through the wave function, like making the market to be divided into two parts, or what you call half wave. Well, you can also view the half wave by marking the highs. Just mark the highs in the market, mark the highs, then mark the highs. Okay, when you mark the highs, you notice that when market move, okay, when market move, they pull back by close to more than 38%. They pull back by close to more than 38%. So for we to now get the average value, we are going to use 50%, and that is half-wave theory. So when market is trying to go to a particular destination, it doesn't go to that destination immediately on a straight line, but it keep pulling back, creating retracement, and this retracement is about 50% of previous impulse move, which is the movement in the main direction of that trend. Okay, so this is the halfway trade. That is why when you place a trade here, it will give you a $50 profit, for instance, and suddenly drop to $25 profit. And then if you don't have the idea of halfway theory, you are going to close that trade, and you'll be surprised that another trader who is holding the trade with real understanding of what the market is doing will be up by $150, but you just close at $25 because of fear. Okay, it's not that you shouldn't manage risk or you shouldn't take profit, but if you know what the market is doing, you can hold the market long and trade your SL, right? But these things are not the main idea of this video. The main idea is when markets move, their percentage changes in price is being represented on the MT5, right? So let's assume that this is zero price, this is origin, and so let's take this, let's assume that this is gold. Okay, so gold is, let's take initial price of gold to be 2000. That is our origin, 2000. Origin doesn't necessarily mean zero, so 2000 is our original price, and then gold jump to price of 2050. Okay, now what is the percentage change? So the percentage change is the differences in price between the original price and the current price, which is 50, over the original price, which is 2000, times 100 over 1. Now when you do this, you have this, then 5 over 2 is 2.5. That is 2.5% change. But remember the topic is 2% change. It's supposed to be plus 2% change. Okay, plus 2% change. So I will update the topic, I will update it while uploading the video. So plus 2% change. So when markets change by plus 2% change, now the plus there does not represent a positive sign, so we're gonna represent this like just 2%. So but if it is a negative change, then it's going to be minus 2%, right? So when markets change numerically, forget about the sign now, it can be negative, it can be positive. When markets change numerically by at least 2%, okay, you can capitalize on that. Like, even if you're a beginner to market, you can capitalize on that. Even if you don't know the market structure, but you can capitalize on that there is probability that the market will change to 4%. If it is negative, there's probability that market will change to minus 4%. Okay. Now, with this idea does not guarantee success, because if you do not understand the market structure, market can still be at 2% change and still go back to minus 2% change or minus 10% change. Market can be at minus 10% change, minus 2%, plus 2% change, and go back to minus 4% change, or market can be at minus 4% change and go back to plus 10%, 5% change. See, you already need market structure for this to work, but in like 30 to 40% of the time, when market change by at least 2% numerically, when it change numerically by 2%, it have tendency to keep changing in that direction. So if the numerical value is acting in positive direction, which is bi-direction, it's going to change more in that bi-direction. Maybe you can see 4%, you can see 8%. But if it is negative, which is the sell direction, it's going to give you something like minus 3%, minus 4%. So this is the idea behind this. I'm going to show you one example on the Weltrade market. Make sure you go and cross-check what I'm saying. Right now, I'm going to upload this video after some time, after I've completed the recording. Now, watch the price of FSVO 999. It is minus 2%. Exactly what I want to say. Exactly what I want to teach. as if it is coincidence, but that's cool. It's all about the power behind what we are doing. So what is here is minus 2%. So I'm going to expect this thing to touch minus 6%, minus 4%, minus 3%. So it's going to touch from minus 3% to minus 6% and even go beyond, depending on the market structure. But I have on the market structure, it is bearish, so I'm expecting it to happen. Okay, so that's cool. Make sure you are proactive with us. Make sure you are doing the right thing. Make sure you are not missing opportunity, because in real time, prices of some of these services and products is going to rise. Why not take advantage right now? Okay, be more instant and more proactive. Thank you and bye for now.